Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC, offers more value than any other good full-service real estate brokerage firm when it comes to the sale of your home. We offer at least 27 things that contribute to your home selling in the least amount of time at the highest price. To receive our free home selling pamphlet, email us at info@brooksanddavis.com or call 713-665-8329. We also assist people who want to purchase homes or who are interested in getting their real estate license. Visit us at www.brooksanddavis.com.
Are you an inspiring entrepreneur? Or maybe you're an entrepreneur looking to take your business to the next level. My name is Larry W. Brooks, and I am the author of Empowering Quotes for the Entrepreneur in You and The Entrepreneur Code. In these two books, I guarantee you there's success secrets that will take your business to the next level. I personally invite you to visit LarryWBrooks.com. Go under the books link and purchase your signed personal copy from myself. You have a great day and have an awesome 2020.
Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I urge you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, follow me, message me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you, just like it is each and every Thursday in the noon hour. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the show this week. I'm really excited about the show we have planned for you this week, man. As always, this is the time of the show where I like to thank my co-host, the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. But Mr. Brooks is away on assignment this Thursday. So filling in his seat admirably, as she has on numerous occasions. Can we say numerous now?
I feel like I'm like.
Can we say, okay, I don't want to overstate it. So for her numerous occasions, she sat in for the Texas Real Estate King, and I would like to introduce my guest co-host to the audience for this week. She is not only one of the most successful real estate professionals here in the city of Houston. She is a realtor extraordinaire, and most importantly, super mom, team coach, motivator, inspiration, and leader. I want to thank her. She is with the Taylor Real Estate Group. And thank you so much for sitting in with us again, Miss Alicia M. Jammer.
No problem. Thank you for having me yet again.
And there it is. Now, last time we had you sitting in with us, I want to say, about maybe 6 to 8 months ago?
I think so.
And it's so funny because 2021 has been moving like at warp speed. So what's been going on in the world of Miss Jammer since the last chance you had to sit in with us?
I say C&K, clients and kids.
That's a new one.
That is
CK all day.
Right now, it's been super busy. The boys are wrapping up football, and I've been busy helping my clients buy and sell. I don't know if you know or saw, but I was one of the 20 recipients for the 20 under 40 for HAR Realtors to watch out for. So the award show is in November. It's super exciting. It's not available to the public. It'll be virtual, but we will be actually in person. So that'll happen.
Well, I just wanted to
the link you can watch.
No, absolutely. That recognition for you is long overdue.
Thank you.
You've committed so much of your personal time, energy, and resources to serving HAR over the years.
Yes,
and I always think you're a shining example of, in the real estate industry, you get out what you put in. I'm sure you've had the opportunity to consult and mentor several new agents and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the things that everyone in our audience can glean from you as an example of putting one foot in front of the other on a regular basis, mapping out your schedule, mapping out your time, and actually getting both feet in this real estate game in Houston, because you've done a great job of not only being a leader, but still at the same time actually getting in there with clients, buyers and sellers, and still getting your hands dirty. So from that standpoint, man, how has 2021 been treating you?
Great.
Okay.
It's been my biggest year, but I always tell new agents, because I get asked that or people message me, where do I start? And I'm like, first you have to start with just being you, being authentic and genuine. I feel like when you're working with people, no matter the industry, they feel and can see when someone is being authentic and genuine. And that's how I've built my business over the years. And I'm seeing seeds that I've sown way early on, like now, 8 years later. I tell people real estate is not right now. Everybody doesn't need a house right now, but it's the relationships you build that when that time comes, then people will think of you. So if you're getting in it because you've heard, oh my gosh, the market's crazy and I can make all this money, you're getting in it for the wrong reason.
Right.
Your heart has to be in serving other people and educating. And so that's my philosophy. That's how I built my business. And that's why I'm now seeing everything that I've worked hard for in the beginning come to fruition now 8 years later.
One of the cool things about your brand is your social media presence. One of the cool things about being friends with you and following you online is that I've seen not only some of your trials and tribulations, like when you had your injury and your rehabilitation, yes. And then now you're working out and your boys are getting older. And I know you used to share videos of when you would work out with the teenagers and all that kind of stuff. So how has all that been going as far as balancing mom responsibilities, some of your personal exercise and workout goals, and your real estate practice?
Well, for me, I'm an early bird. So right. I don't mind getting up early and working out because I know that's my time to myself. Once 8 or 9 o'clock comes, you guys know it's your phone's ringing, you got clients. And so I make it a priority, I would say 4 out of the 7 days a week to make sure that I get up and take care of my workout beforehand. I know I'm not an evening workout person, and I know that once the day gets started, it's highly unlikely that I'm going to be able to stop what I'm doing and tend to clients and get my kids where they need to be. So I literally map out my schedule. My alarm goes off at 4:45. Honestly, I wake up about 5:15. I hit it a couple of times because it's early. But I also allow myself grace. If I'm too tired, I'm like, okay, I need to schedule that in for the next day. So I don't push myself like I used to because I've gotten to that point this year where it was like burnout. Like, I'm tired. That happens when you're juggling, leaving clients, rushing to pick up your kids. That can happen. So I allow myself some grace. Once I drop my kids off, for me, I'm now in 2 carpool lines. My oldest has to be at school at 7:30, and then I leave, drop him off, and then I have to go back home, get my younger 2 up to get them to school. So in the morning, I'm not getting my day started until 9 after I've been up since 5. So by 9 o'clock, I've already been up 4 hours, taking care of my stuff and then getting my kids where they need to be. And then the rest of the day is for work. And now about 4 or 5 o'clock, I head home, get my kids from practice, and 3 days out of the week we have games. So we're not, some nights, like Tuesday night, we didn't get home till 9:30 because my kids have football. You know,
it's tough because that's one of the reasons I urge everyone in our audience to follow you on Instagram because you'll get an opportunity to be a fly on the wall in this whirlwind of a week that you have on a regular basis, man. And I thank you so much because I know how busy you are generally, but I know especially on Thursdays. So thank you so much for carving some time out your schedule, Alicia. And it's always a pleasure to have you sitting in with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I would like to introduce this week's guest, man. We're really excited about this week's guest. I've had the honor and the pleasure of interacting and meeting this week's guest in the real estate community for years now. And I want to thank her so much publicly for taking some time out of her schedule to sit in with us. So to our audience, I'd like to introduce, she is not only one of the most successful realtors here in the area, but she is also a highly successful entrepreneur with the Braden Real Estate Group. I want to thank her so much for sitting in with the Prime Real Estate Network podcast, Miss Ebony Royal. How are you doing?
Hi.
It's good to see you.
Happy to
applause
be.
track. There we go.
Yes.
My people in here.
I am very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Now, I have to admit on camera, I had a very, very, very exciting and fun time at the last Braden Real Estate Group function.
Oh, yes. You know how Braden does it.
And we had an opportunity to have a conversation at that, what do they call that picture thing where the camera spins around?
The 360.
Yeah. I know. Do you remember how much fun we were having at the 360 video?
We had so much fun. I mean, much fun.
It is so funny because, and we talked about this before we started recording, is that we've had an opportunity to meet, be casually introduced, but that was the first opportunity that we really had to interact and converse. And I want to thank you so much because We talked about you sitting in with us. You said, "Oh yeah, I wouldn't have a problem doing it," but then you showed up for me. So thank you so much.
Of course. I have to show up for Rick.
Hey, look, first question. No, and I'm gonna tell you because there are so many people that are excited when I shared our flyer and let them know that you were sitting in. So first question: how often, when you go to real estate networking events, do people come up and introduce themselves to you like they've met you previously? Because you have the type of personality that people may meet you once, never forget it, and then they meet you again, and it's kind of like, oh my goodness, we've met several times. What is it about what you think, how you present yourself publicly that allows people to gravitate towards you that way?
Honestly, I think it's kind of what Alicia was saying. It's really, I'm just authentic. You know, I'm a girl from New Orleans and here in Texas. And I don't know. I guess I love people. I love interacting with people. And I'm starting to realize how powerful social media is, too.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's what it is.
Could you share with our audience a little bit about your real estate practice, how long you've been practicing real estate, and where in the community and what areas you service?
Yeah, sure. I've actually been on and off realtor for 16 years, since 2005. I came from Hurricane Katrina and immediately went to real estate school, got my license. And honestly, I fell in love with it. But then the crash hit, and and I ended up working in the public sector for a while, and then so now I've gotten back in real estate full time. I absolutely love it, and I'm in the community a lot. I service the South region of Houston. I'm really everywhere, but South region, Pomona, Meridiana, Sedona,
absolutely,
all of those communities, and our office is located downtown, so we're right in the heart of Houston.
You just mentioned a little bit about how you're now valuing the power of social media. And one of the things that I want to urge everyone in our audience to do is to follow you on Instagram, because from an educational standpoint, as a real estate consumer, the thing that I love so much about your online presence is that if someone wants to interact and schedule consultations with you and get real estate information, they can all do it from one click.
Yes.
Who illustrated the value of making your information and your online presence so easily accessible for everyone? How did that come to pass? Because your online presence, I promise, is like knockout.
Well, you guys probably know I'm with Braden, and if you know Braden, you know Nicole Handy.
Right. Shout out.
Shout out to Nicole Handy.
Right.
So she is definitely somebody who has given me a lot of insight on, systems and how to, and social media presence, and and that's really where it came from, is really her coaching and helping me through that.
No, also, and I definitely agree and concur with everything you're saying, because as far as the brand, the Braden Real Estate Group is so dialed in and it's so professional that everyone who is under that umbrella or flag, it's almost like you all give a positive light and shine positively all on everyone. It's like you all share the same spotlight, so that's outstanding. What I want to ask you, and this is something that I've been really curious to ask you, and I haven't had a chance to ask you this off the clock, so I'll ask you this on camera, is what is it that differentiates you from other realtors to the point where you're providing that royal treatment to all your clients? Because when people close with you, the comments, the remarks that they leave about working with you are something that goes above and beyond traditionally what people say about their agent after the fact. So what is it that you've added as far as your list of services, or the type of things you add to your professional development as far as working with clients that they just haven't seen or haven't experienced with other agents?
Yeah, well, I'm going to say that I do possess something that a lot of people don't have anymore, and that is patience.
No, so please elaborate on how important that is in this industry.
Yeah, it's really important. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers and just home buyers, as we all do.
Right.
But even not beyond first-time home buyers, it requires patience, in order for you to get into a multiple offer situation or explain something. And if you have to explain it more than one time, I am that person that's willing to do that. I'll say it 4 different ways, but I want to make sure that my clients understand exactly what it is that I'm trying to, and I'll say, does that make sense? And if I see a look on their face and they're like, oh, I'm like, okay, we're going to try it again. So I think patience, number one, is the thing that really sets me apart. I have a personal assistant, a virtual assistant that really helps me, manage my transactions.
Right.
And I'm very, very big at communicating. And I just show up like for everything. I know that a lot of times when realtors get to certain levels, they don't really, have to show up all the time.
Right.
But I just show up for everything for my clients.
No, because I think that's something that your clients really appreciate, and it's always a blessing when they share that publicly. Because, of course, bad news travels fast, but usually when you do a bang-out job, people keep that to themselves. So
Right.
I don't know if you ask them to leave those positive comments or it comes organically, but either way, it works out well for you, man.
Yeah.
And it's so great that in 2021, with all the challenges from a pandemic perspective, home prices have risen in Houston this year. No, they ain't.
Right. It took your breath away just thinking about it, right?
The thing is that both of you ladies have been so successful this calendar year, even with those obstacles. So one question I have for you, Ebony, is what have you had to do differently in 2021 to make sure that you keep your boat floating and cruising at a speed that you're comfortable with and you can set your goals accordingly?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I did differently was hire an assistant.
Then there it is. It seems small, but it can make a world of difference.
Oh my gosh, the book Who Not How,
Right.
you have to have, sometimes you just can't do it all yourself, and you have to realize that you can't do it all yourself. And so I also had a business coach that I hired. So I really hired a team of people to help me to continue to elevate my business.
I'm glad, and I appreciate your transparency, because sometimes those small moves and small adjustments can make a world of difference. But since it seemed so small and arbitrary, we may not necessarily spotlight that as far as a reason why things have changed for the better. So I appreciate you being so open and honest about that, because we all get inundated with emails from third-party vendors for a myriad of goods and services, and we never really know that value added until after you spend the money.
Right.
So I appreciate you so much for letting all of us and everyone in the real estate community know that, yes, those virtual assistants, if you find one that's quality, they can add to your business tenfold.
If you find one, that's
Good help is hard to find.
Good help is hard to find.
I went through some duds before, I got to the right one.
And there
So,
it is. And that's the thing that I think is underreported. But I appreciate you so much for mentioning it. When we come back from our break, I want to talk to you a little bit about your life before real estate and your life before entrepreneurship and starting your own brands, because real estate isn't your only business. And when we come back from our break, I want to give you an opportunity to talk to our audience about some of the other entrepreneurial hats that you wear and share a little bit about those companies with us as well, if you don't mind.
Great. I'd love to.
I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. We're going to take a short break to hear from our sponsors, but we will be right back.
I'm serial entrepreneur Larry W. Brooks, and I'd like to personally invite you to take a closer look at the Pure Hustle clothing brand, along with several books that I've authored to take entrepreneurs, small business owners to the next level of their business. So please take a look at shoplwb.com. How do you survive?
Rent to own is not a myth. Turn your rental payment into a down payment with Divvy Homes and the Prime Real Estate Network. All you need to qualify is a 550 minimum FICO score and $40,000 in annual income. If you've worked your current job for at least the last 6 months and you can prove that you have $2,000 in the bank, your dream of home ownership can become a reality. Please direct message, call, or email the Prime Real Estate Network today and learn more about this exciting new program.
Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, we pride ourselves every month in having tons of events. So take a look at this calendar. If you see something you want to be a part of, you see an opportunity to come out and network with realtors, partners and affiliates of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, we cordially invite you, and I'll see you at these events. Are you interested in a career in real estate? It may be an inspector, maybe mortgage, maybe even title work, or maybe you focused in and you want to become a licensed realtor. I'd like to invite you out to Brooks and Davis Real Estate Career Night. So please feel free, take a look at this flyer, hit that QR code, and join us at the Real Estate Career Night. And of course, you can always RSVP at 713-665-8329. See you at the event.
Welcome back to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I urge you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. Once again, if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, DM me, inbox, call, text, because I got all of the information that you need. And if you want to become a professional realtor and join the team at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, just go by our website at brooksanddavis.com. As always, I want to thank my guest co-host, Miss Alicia M for sitting in with us this week.
You are so welcome, always.
Thank you so much. And I want to thank our guest, Miss Ebony Royal, representing for the Braden Real Estate Group.
Yeah.
And look, and no, it's super cool because we had a really cool conversation in the first half of our interview. And you mentioned about some of the things that you've done differently in 2021 to make sure that 2021 was as successful for you as 2020 was. I want to ask Ms. Jammer the same question because I didn't get a chance to ask you this before we took our break. What new things have you implemented as far as your sales strategy, marketing strategy to make sure that 2021 was as successful as you projected coming into the year?
Well, first, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but last October is when I moved over to Compass and joined the Tailored Real Estate Group. So it's like my 1-year anniversary. So super exciting. But I didn't know the value of a team and having a team behind you before when I was on my own. So it took me a while to come over and, going through the interview process because I wanted to make sure that I wouldn't lose sight of what I was trying to do and that our goals and visions aligned. So once I moved over, I didn't realize that I would have access to a full-time client care coordinator, a full-time transaction coordinator.
Things you've never had opportunity to enjoy
I
before.
was everything
right.
for my business. So now for the last year, I've had my client care coordinator kind of takes care of everything before we go under contract. And then our transaction coordinator kind of handles everything once we get under contract. I still write all the contracts, but as far as getting the papers and getting them in our back agent system, I don't have to worry about that stuff no more. So it frees up my time to where we really can focus on our clients and do what's best for our clients. We have staging supplies, so we stage all of our listings. When you're by yourself, you don't have access to all of those things. So having a team and the right team behind me has allowed me to grow and flourish in ways that literally I didn't know were possible.
No, and that just brings me right back to the point that Ms. Royal made before our break. Implementing systems into your business. Because both of you ladies are leaders, personally, professionally, and in business. How hard is it, and I'll ask you this question, Ms. Ebony, how hard was it for you to turn over some of that responsibilities to an agent? Because everything that Miss Alicia is talking about is actually you ladies being confident enough to turn over some of this to a third party that you may not necessarily have had time to develop a professional relationship. So how hard was that for you, Ms. Evans?
Yeah, it was tough. We do things and my emails are very the words I use, they're very softening or a little, joke here and there. But when you have somebody else that's, now sending out emails, you can look at that email and go like, oh God, can you soften that little bit? Can you change this up?
Right.
And I just had to let go, because the reality is that we were still getting a response. We were still getting everything that we were, trying to get. So I just let go and focused on building my business and pipeline and, continuing to expand.
No, because as entrepreneurs and business owners, we all can be, for lack of a better term, control freaks about personal business because at the end of the day, we eat what we kill. So we need to be the person making the decisions on how it happens and when it happens. But I would want to give you this opportunity because a businesswoman like yourself, you've had the opportunity to wear several entrepreneurial hats. You have another business that I would like for you to introduce to our audience because I'm sure there are several business professionals in our audience that could take advantage of all the services you provide. So please introduce your other companies to our audience, please.
Yes. So I am a co-owner with my mother, Mama B, of Just Be on the Runway, and it is a online boutique. We provide, women's clothing that is very professional and sexy at the same time. And then we also have we offer casual items as well. My mom and I like to reference it as a big gumbo. It's like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but a whole lot of flavor.
Right. No, is he? And you ladies will have to forgive me, because as the only guy on the show today, if I ask a question that seems overly ignorant, please humor me. But I can only assume that being business professional, but then also still having a sense of flair and a sense of fashion can be something that's really challenging for new real estate agents, especially ladies who are new to the industry. And this question is for you, Miss Ebony, but also for you, Miss Alicia. How challenging was it when you first got into real estate to have an idea of what you should wear at certain times? Is that something that ladies really have to go through mental hula hoops about? And if so, is that something that you thought about as a motivator to start your boutique?
Yeah, that's a good question. But honestly, I have been in the retail industry for so long.
And there the game is. There it is. You ask the right question, you get the right answer.
Yes, I have been in the retail industry for so long, prior to getting into real estate. And so it came natural to me.
Right.
I was a manager of a store, so I had standards on what I wanted my employees to look like.
Right.
So that was something that was easily brought into real estate. But yes, from a visual standpoint and just seeing young, new agents come into the industry, I do think they're sometimes confused, like what's casual, what's not casual, what's acceptable, what's not. So I do, and yes, that's something that I'm passionate about, and I'm very forward in my, I'll tell somebody like, hey, like, what, you should probably put a jacket on with that, or that might not be the most appropriate thing to go into this meeting. I'm pretty.
No, and that's cool, because I
I'm
want to ask
pretty
just
straightforward with it.
No, because Ms. Jammer, you've served in a leadership position with HAR. Have you been in a position where less experienced agents have come to you for advice as far as what's acceptable, what's appropriate, different settings from a real estate perspective?
I have. People have asked me that, and then I've seen it just being at meetings. But it is a fine line where what we wear can be misconstrued. It's a lot of things that we, as women, before I go into a listing presentation or a buyer consultation, is this too tight? Is this too short? You have to ask yourself all these questions, so you don't get to just put on a dress and walk out the door. You're checking yourself out. I just told my sister earlier, not even in real estate, but just in general, as I'm getting older, I look at things a lot differently. What I would have wore 10 years ago, now that I'm almost 40, I wouldn't dare wear. I was taking my kids to a football game, and I have clients that are on these teams. And I went to grab a pair of shorts, put them on, and I was like, oh, whoa, no, these are too short. 10 years ago, I wasn't asking myself those questions. I would have just wore it. Absolutely. Now I'm like, oh no, this is too short. Take it off. Let me put something else on. So it's a constant, whether you're in the real estate world or you're just out in public, that you represent a brand. Your brand is
so
you.
Deep. Right.
So I don't think people quite understand that, because I see professionals, I'm like, I wouldn't have wore that to a closing, or I wouldn't have wore that to, a meeting. But I mean, it's personal choice, but I feel like if you have to find that identity and that balance, and it goes back to being authentically and genuine in who you are and what kind of business you want to attract. Now, you will get those people that just, say things, inappropriate things to you if you have a sweater on. I mean, so we're always constantly as women having to, check ourselves with what we're wearing.
Absolutely.
And then Ms. Ebb, with your boutique being online, is consultation, is that a service that can people reach out to you? Absolutely. And you talk to them and go through what you have available and give advice as far as things of that nature?
Absolutely. So we do have like a private showroom too, and we do we do pop-ups. And trunk shows. So we will go to the other locations and bring our merchandise and do presentations. We actually did one at the Braden Real Estate office. And the realtors, we brought the clothes in, the realtors came in and we dressed them up. And
Okay, see, now I got to ask, is that something that you did specifically for Braden, or could other offices reach out to you for something similar if they chose?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, stop everything. Share it with the audience. Contact info, IG, or everything boutique with Ms. Royal. How could people get in contact and
Yes,
stay
absolutely.
a part of that movement?
So you can follow Just Be on the Runway, and it's Just BE on the Runway.
Right.
On both Facebook and Instagram. Our website is justbeontherunway.com. You are welcome to send us a message. Our phone number is 713-588-5212. And you can send a message and send a request. I'll be happy to return your phone call and we get going.
No, and the reason why I'm so adamant that everyone in the audience have that information is because I think it's important for, as real estate professionals, entrepreneurs, for us to always be able to put our best foot forward. And sometimes when you're new, and then there's a lot of people who move to Texas from different parts of the country where the seasons are different. They wear different things at different times of the year. So some of the things that you ladies may take for granted as far as, okay, in Houston, October doesn't mean cold. For someone who's new to the area, they may need your guidance. So I want to make sure that we provide them with all the tools necessary. And of course, people might not tune into the podcast for me and Larry's fashion advice. So the fact that we got you sitting in with us, I want to make for sure they know who to go to for that, no doubt.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, man. I want to thank you so much because I have been so looking forward to having you sitting in. And then when I had a chance to bump into you at the networking event last weekend, it was really exciting. I was like, oh, yeah, she's coming in next week. So thank you so much for carving some time out your busy Thursday, Ms. Royal.
Oh, absolutely. This has been great.
Thank you so much. And as always, Miss Jammer holding it down with us on the Aces and Deuces. I thank you so much, man. I continue to follow you on social media. Tell your son I wish him the best of luck and the best of good health in football season. I've gotten to the age where, like you say, I've matured. I no longer root for winning and losing. I just root for everybody to make it home safely.
It's amazing how your life perspective changes as we get older.
Come on, it's called evolution.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So is there any final shout outs you want to give to the audience? Anything as far as sharing contact information for you or anyone else that you may work with?
Just follow me on IG. It's at Alicia M Jammer. I've been trying to get into this whole real thing. I mean, it's I feel like every month there's something new that we've got to master, and I'm like, okay, I can't do all the TikTok, and I can just do a reel and give you the information. So if you're looking for information, you want to be taken care of from start to finish and beyond. I always tell my clients the relationship doesn't start at the closing table. It's just the beginning. So it's been fun and blessings, and thanks, Larry, for letting me come and sit in for you.
Man. See, there you go. And that's a perfect segue. Big shout out, Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, man. We look forward to having you back in the building next weekend. Until then, if you need any advice as far as buying, selling, or investing, reach out to me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Rick. In the meantime, in the between time, call me, text me, email me, do whatever you need to do. Send a carrier pigeon. It don't even matter because I'm here for you. So until next Thursday, everyone out there, be safe and be blessed.